Hey, welcome to this video about tables. We're in the PowerPivot series here, and we're going to talk about tables. Hopefully you know tables a bit already, but they're a really great feature of Excel, and a lot of us, computer Excel nerds, love tables. If you haven't used them before, this might change your mind about the whole tool of Excel, ultimately, because this was one of the first features that really changed what you could do without a whole lot of background in Excel. Now, by the way, this file called students is a vertical table that has not yet been made a table. How do I know that? Well, let's look at it. If you look at this file, right here, you can see I've got birth date, gender, age, ethnicity, and these are the column headers. And they represent what's in each column. So here, I can expect all these to be birth dates, and I can expect all these to be genders. By the way, you also have to expect one line to be a person. So if I were to read this, the first person to enter information in my table, he was born on the 6th of February 1988. He was a man. He was 26. He was Asian. He was in a relationship. He liked sports. He's got a grade of 84% and a salary of 41%. By the way, this is fake data I made for the sake of this class to make it look a bit better. But you might have real data that looks like this. So now let's make it a table. To make it a table, two techniques. One of my favorite one is just to click one cell, hit Control T, validate that the dancing ants are around the right thing. Yes, they're called dancing ants. Validate that the dancing ants are around it. Then hit OK. And now you've made a table. You could have also done this by using the button Insert Table, right? It's already a table, so you can see it's unavailable. So I much rather the shortcut Control T. Once you've got a table, you have access to tons of new features that are built into table. Before, when you were sorting, it wasn't the best sorting techniques. And before, when you were filtering, it wasn't the best filtering techniques. And there was a ton of issues with it. So now let's look at what you can do. The first thing it does that you notice is auto style. So you get all these lines here, a blue one, a white one, a blue one, a white one. And this can be changed under the design tier, under this little button, and change another one to pick another one. I'm going to go pick this one right here. You'll notice that my titles have stayed orange because it preserves your initial formatting. It doesn't overwrite your initial formatting, and it puts a new one under it. So if you want to have the whole table style to it, you have to remove all of your old formats. With, clear formats works. There's a lot, home, clear formats will help you. So you see if I go here and I go clear formats, probably you see it's not actually cleared. I can see the old table style, but I liked my orange on top, so I'm going to undo and keep it. So that's the first thing it does. Second thing it does is also it gives you these drop-down menus here. What are these drop-down menus? Well, these drop-down menus let you sort. So you see here I can go in average grade and sort from largest to smallest. I have the best grades first. Or I can sort the salaries, sort from largest to smallest, right? And that's pretty easy. I could also sort from ages and from birth dates quickly by using the filter. They're called filters. Over here. So I can click this filter and sort it. I can also filter it. What does that mean? So say I only want the 27-year-olds to be visible. I don't want to see all of them. So I can go here on age. I can uncheck select all. I can scroll down a bit and check 27. And by doing this, my data, uncheck select all, check 27. Where is it? Here, 27, and hit OK. And look at that. Right, only the 27-year-olds are there, and you can see it goes 181. And the reason they're all like this is because they were sorted. But what if I would unfilter age, and I would filter something like, I don't know, the artistic people. So I want to go here in hobbies, and I'm going to uncheck select all. I'm going to select arts, and look at this. I've got the artistic people. And then go into, and I can go into, say, ethnicity, and go into ethnicity and find the Asian artistic people. And this is the people in my data that are Asian and are artistic. You see row 16, row 94. And this is filtered data. That's really great. You get the filter, you get the sort. These are things that are available out of tables but aren't as friendly. Oops, I'm going to undo here because there's a normal scenario. I've got a filter here. You can see it with the icon. I've got another filter here. You can see it with the icon. I could go like I was going to do and clear one at a time to remove them. But there is a button on the Home tab, also on the Data tab, that is available, which is under Sort and Filter here, and it's clear, or under the Data tab, clear over here. And if you hit this clear button, it's going to clear all of your filters from your tab, and the color blue on the side will disappear, making your data unfiltered. It does a lot of other extra benefits. Here, have one. Let's say that For some reason, these salaries are all wrong by 20%, and they all need a 20% increase. So I need to multiply these numbers by 1.20. Now, normally you have to create a function, etc., etc. You still have to do a function. So I'm going to click H2 here. First I click I2, right? So I've clicked on cell I2. Then I put equals. I click cell H2. I don't type it, right? I've typed none of this here. And now I finally type something. I put multiplication, which is an asterisk 1.20 to 20% to all these salaries. I hit enter, and voila, look at this. It added an extra column with all of the salaries adjusted for 20%. I can then call this title adjusted salary. And it copied the style, it added it in, and that's really impressive. Tables do these weird things. Another thing that table does is if you go and you hover, you'll notice that there's a weird button here. If I click H, it shows me the whole line, but if I go in between here, it lets me select only my data, and if I drag this around, right, it's going to let me drag it. But if I would select my whole data with the titles, as you see here, I can scroll down. You see I only have my data selected. I don't have the part under. I'm going to scroll back up. I can check this out. I can take my column here and position it somewhere else and reposition my salary column. Something which is interesting because you can't really reposition columns easily in Excel, and with tables you can. You just have to remember to select your title, your data with your title, and then try to move that column. This feature will only work inside a table, but it's really nice that you can move columns around inside of tables. So you can move columns around, you can create columns easily, you can add new data easily. You'll notice how easy it is. You see here I've got column K, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1, a 2, and a 3. And I'm going to move my face. Oops, sorry, that's not my face. One sec. My face. Here it is. I move my face down here. And now you see I've got 1, 2, 3. And if I go here and I choose to insert a new row, what's going to happen to my 1, 2, 3? Well, there's going to be a blank space put in the middle, and that might create some issues. I don't want that. So if you don't right-click on 3 and you go insert, if you go on one cell here and you click insert table row above, check this out. It's going to put the row above, but 1, 2, 3 won't get affected. But say you've made this by mistake and you want to delete it. Now I hit delete, and what's going to happen? Oh my god, the 2 here left. Oh no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to delete it so that the 2 doesn't go away. The same way, you don't click the whole row like you used to. Now you click one cell, you right click on it, you go insert, delete, and you can hit delete table rows, and this will delete the row, but keep the 2. What? That's really great. So let's talk about the last feature of tables here. I'm going to remove my adjusted salaries, and here I am in my last feature. So tables does more than that. It also auto-adjusts to pivot tables, and it does all these great things. But here's the last one I want to talk about, called the total row. You can right-click on any cell, and you can go on the table button here and go totals row. And if you click totals row, it's going to add a total with a bunch of hashtags at the bottom. We're not on Instagram here, people. It's a bunch of hashtags because the column is not wide enough. So you see if I would grow my column salary here, right, I could see the number. Aha! The number. So this is the total salary. Not very useful to me to know the total salary. It might be more useful to get the average. So you see if I click on it, there's a menu that pops up. But what is this menu? Let's check it out. I click it. No. It has functions. So I can click average. It shows me the average. Mind-blowing. So here for average grade, can I get the average? No, it works. Look. I got the average. But maybe I don't want the average. Maybe I want the standard deviation. Oh, no. I got the standard deviation. That's not possible. Maybe I want the sum. No. It all works. It's really wonderful. So you can get any total. But you might be thinking, this is not any total. And this is where I say I conclude, because you've seen all of these features, and maybe now you know a bit more about what table does. But this is what table really do, right? This is the one sentence. Table is the tool that lets you get one piece of information in Excel in the most easy and quick way. So say somebody called you and said, hey, listen, I need to know the average salary for white men which are into video games in this data set. And you're like, oh my god, average salary, white men in this data set. So what did they want? They wanted white, and they wanted men that played video games, aka people like me. And I'm here, and I've got white men playing video games. What's their salaries? I don't know. But what's their average salary? I don't know. But if I use my filters, here I can filter for gender, and say that I only want the men. And here I can filter for white, and say I only want the white men. And here I can filter for video games. Say I only want the white men playing video games. right? So I've got all the people here now. This is all the people. They're selected. If I go under here, I could count them to see what it is, right? And I can see that there's 34. And I can also see that the average salary is $44,495. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, what's the average salary for men to video games? You can say 400, 495. But if you're looking for tons of them, it's going to take more time. So say I wasn't only looking for men, which are white, for men, I was also looking for women's average salary, which are white or Asian or other, right? And what about video games? Maybe I'm looking for the ones who like video games, but also the ones who have sports. So I'm now looking for tons of more numbers, not one, but tons. And this is where you use pivot tables. Pivot tables gets you more than a number. It gives you multiple ones in 1 or 2 clicks. So let's get to it. Let's go see what pivot tables are.